Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री राधा गोविंद की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। In the last class, we have seen the first part of 9th chapter, which is called as Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, that is most confidential knowledge, Rajaguhya, and word by word meaning for why this is called as Rajavidya and Rajaguhya. These things we have discussed, and Krishna's relationship with the material world, how Krishna is maintaining this material world and still he is not attached to this material world. He is the cause of everything, but still he is away from everything. These things we have seen in the last class. And also Krishna's evaluation of those who deride him when he descends in human form. That is, when Krishna says there, Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagadviparivartate. In the text number 10, people do not understand him, because Krishna also, when he comes here, he behaves like an ordinary boy. Even devatas like Indra and Brahma also get bewildered by his activity. So what to speak of other people? So people, they get bewildered by the activities of Lord Krishna. So he says, Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam. If somebody thinks that I am also a embodied person, then he is a mudha. He is a foolish person. He doesn't know what is fact. So in this way, Krishna is explaining how a person is ignorant about the Lord. And in the text number 12, he is continuing, Mogasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetasaha rakshasi masurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shrita. One who doesn't get attracted for the pastimes of the Lord, and one who doesn't try to understand the Lord, they get attracted to the demonic natures, and they develop the demonic natures in their heart. Continuing further today, Unit 2, Chapter 7 to 12. Today is 9.13 to the end of the chapter, that is 34. In today's chapter or today's lesson, we are continuing with the text number 13, where Krishna is explaining the characters of a Mahatma. Mahatma means one who is a devotee of the Lord, one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. He is called as Mahatma here. And there are other people also who doesn't worship the Lord directly. Rather, they will worship the different types. That is, one who worships himself, or one who worships the demigods, or one who is worshipping the universal form of the Lord. All these are different levels of worship to the Lord. One who is not in the level of Mahatma. Then continuing further, he will explain these three parts, that is Ekatvena, Pratakwena, Bahuda, Vishwatomukam. He will explain it in next coming shloka, all these three parts. Then finally, he'll explain or he'll glorify about the Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. And this Ananya Bhakti will continue in the 10th chapter as well. In the 10th chapter, first 11 shloka also speaks about the same points. That means the 9th chapter ending and 10th chapter starting, it has the same topic, that is about Ananya Bhakti to the Lord. Now this is the shloka where Krishna is telling what is the nature of a Mahatma, who is called as Mahatma. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. This is very important shloka where Prabhupada quotes this shloka in almost all his classes. One has to develop the qualities of a Mahatma. And what are the different qualities of Mahatma? Prabhupada goes on explaining in almost many classes. If you see, this is the most quoted shloka of Srila Prabhupada. So one who is a pure devotee of the Lord, he is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, and he is called as Mahatma. Generally, we have Mahatma word used in so many places for different purposes, but really the Mahatma word refers to the devotee who is a unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So these are the two Maya. One is Yoga Maya, other one is Maya, Mahamaya, or it is also called as Prakriti, Daivi Prakriti and Asuri Prakriti. So this one who is worshipping the Lord, or one who is a devotee of the Lord, he comes under the Yoga Maya protection of the Lord. Now here is a activity. List examples from Srila Prabhupada's life which reflects the qualities and behavior listed in text number 13 and 14. So text number 14 says that Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. The devotee or the Mahatma is always thinking about the Lord. Satatam kirtayantam, that is always chanting the glories of the Lord and endeavoring with the great determination to serve the Lord, and always bowing down to the Lord, bowing down before the Lord with great devotion, and Nitya Yukta Upasate. These great souls are perpetually worshipping the Lord always. We know the life of Srila Prabhupada. We have heard or read Leelamrita, and we know so many pastimes how Srila Prabhupada established this movement, how much work he has done, what are the different struggles that he has undergone. So based on this, we can list some of the examples how we can relate these qualities of the Mahatma to Srila Prabhupada. So these are the different qualities. Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha. Srila Prabhupada is always under the protection of the Daivi Prakriti, and Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. He is always remembering the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says he is always in the Vrindavana mood. That means wherever he goes, he will carry the Vrindavana with him. And Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. That is knowing the Lord to be the inexhaustible and cause of everything, and being always fully spiritual. That is Jnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. Avyayam means inexhaustible. Knowing and understanding Krishna as the cause of everything, and inexhaustible, and being fully spiritual. Then Satatam Kirtayantomam, always chanting the holy name of the Lord, always chanting the glories of the Lord and spreading the glories to many people. Whoever comes in touch with him, he made all of them into devotees. Then Yatantascha Dradavrataha, endeavoring with great determination to preach in the Western world, in the English speaking, for the English speaking people, in their language, in the unknown place, how much work or how much struggle he has undergone. This is all for the devotion to the Lord or to the love of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada has done it as a responsibility and for fulfilling the desire of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then Nitya Yukta Upasate. These great souls perpetually worshipping the Lord always, continuously. Now you can raise your hand if you would like to give any example relating these qualities to Srila Prabhupada's life. These 6 kinds of qualities which are given in the 2 texts. How Srila Prabhupada's life, in his life, how he has shown the qualities of a Mahatma in preaching Krishna consciousness and establishing this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You can take any of the qualities. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know which quality it will come under, because through the Lilamrit, every chapter says that he said Krishna is the cause of everything. Right from the time he got even before he got a ticket on the Jaladuta, how much he had to struggle. But he said, Krishna is making me do it, and I will do it for my spiritual master because he told me to do it. And he suffered a heart attack, 2 heart attacks on the journey, on the voyage, very uncomfortable voyage. But he said, Krishna is taking care of me. He's doing it because he's reaching me there because he wants me to do something, and because my spiritual master has told me to do it. And and I don't know which of these qualities said he was absolutely uncompromising when it came to Krishna consciousness. Because even in the US, when he went and he had to start the society there, there are certain incidents, 1 or 2 of which I will recall that I have read in the Lilamrit, where he had the opportunity to get more funds or more resources if he compromised on something. But he said regulative principles are regulative principles, and there will be no compromise on it. He took upon really very powerful people, even in India. You see how the temple in Juhu was constructed? It was such a struggle that it will bring tears to one's eyes that he didn't give up. He said, if a promise has been made to the Lord, it was like Sakshi Gopal's story. I will make it come true because Krishna is behind all this. And it was a huge struggle to get that Juhu land. But he said, Krishna has been installed there. He will live there. Come what may, we will build a house for him there. And it will be internationally famous. And he took on the politicians. His devotees, disciples were beaten up. They were ostracized. People used to throw things at them. So many insults, but he overcame all of them because he had complete faith that Krishna is directing his activities to propagate Krishna consciousness. And at the end of the whole Juhu land, when finally it came to them, all he said was, this is something that stuck in my mind. He said, all the devotees said, it was such an ordeal, and those were Western disciples. They were not even used to the mosquitoes and all that in India, and being, talked to, abused by people and all that. And they still stuck to it because their spiritual master wanted them to. And at the end of it all, after that signing happened, after that Mrs. N was sent away, everything, he said it was a good fight. And an American reporter said that Prabhupada never shied away from a good fight. And why? Because it was for Krishna. And Krishna had sanctioned it. So such unshakable faith and if I can take 2 more minutes, Prabhuji, if you
Yes.
permit. There was one place in the US where he got a huge mansion by the Beatles. He stayed in an outhouse or a garden house there. And the deal was the Beatles were very material people. George Harrison was very impressed with Srila Prabhupada and promised a lot of things and tried to follow it, etc. And Prabhupada said, if there is a famous personality, then all of us will emulate that person and look to him. So it's good for Krishna consciousness. And they had a mansion. The Beatles had a mansion. I don't recall the place in the US. And what they said was, in exchange for your disciples working on our mansion and setting it up, doing the woodwork and all that, we will let you live there and slowly, slowly we'll give you parts of the estate. And Prabhupada was very happy that somebody is taking to it, giving us something so selflessly. And what happened was once when he walked into them, and they used to work the disciples really hard, like, free laborers. But Prabhupada said, it's for a good cause. It's for propagating Krishna consciousness. We're going to get some land. We're going to install deities. We're going to have a temple. We're going to spread it. And once when he walked into the mansion, he noticed quite obscene pictures of John Lennon and his wife. And he said, this is not happening. These people are doing everything against our regulative principles. And this cannot be, this is not acceptable. And that very same day, he had a talk with George Harrison. He realized that it was quite futile to deal with John Lennon and his wife, who were expecting too much and too many things out of, one little exchange of this land or whatever. And they all walked out of the place together without probably having another place to go to. But he said, Krishna will take care of us. And he did. There was somebody else who offered something. And later on, looking back, John Lennon didn't have a great life or a passing on. And his wife was pretty awful. George Harrison kind of came back to him and helped him record CDs of the Mahamantra, spread it and all that. So Krishna works in mysterious ways. Only Srila Prabhupada knew about it, believed it, trusted him completely, and we are here because of him. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to speak about any qualities which are given in these two shloka of Mahatma to Srila Prabhupada? Yeah, Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Prabhuji, I went to, there is a temple in Chandni Chowk where Prabhupada stayed before he went to America, and we all know the president, so he asked us to come and visit the temple. And the original documents of Prabhupada, his original passport. And there was one where he met Jawaharlal Nehru. I think it was Jawaharlal Nehru. I didn't pay much attention when I went there. So that was there. And the people tell that he used to walk down to the publisher. He didn't take a bus or anything, so that he would save on the cost. And he used to, day in, day out, because he had started the Back to Godhead magazine from that temple. It is in Chippiwada, Chandni Chowk. It is now ISKCON has bought it, but previously it was with somebody else. So there is Shiva and other demigods are also there. They're still maintained. Now it is a very beautiful temple. Originally, when I went there 5 years back, it was not so well done, but now it is now very beautiful temple. It is just next to Jama Masjid. If you go, the Jama Masjid is a huge, beautiful mosque. Just first lane you enter, and it is the temple in Chippiwada. So the most people who there talk about is that he never spent money on himself. He would walk down. He never took a bus, and sometimes he would, on way when he would be hungry and all, then he would save on that also, though the mandir was providing him with food and all, but he still, all original manuscripts are preserved in that temple, his passport and everything, lots of things. I can't recall. And 9.14, God says, a person who's always chanting my glories, So I can say with surety that Prabhupada was always chanting glories, because there are so many audios which are there of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, which is prabhupadvani.com, or where one can listen to him. And he did so many translations and short books. And in end, when he knew that he probably will not be able to complete the Bhagavatam translation, he went on to do Krishna books, so that at least some portion he would be able to do. And the last cantos were, I've heard, done by somebody else. So I think he did it with a lot of dedication, which deserves to be mentioned as a Mahatma. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Prabhuji, if we take Srila Prabhupada's humility, and even though he has built more than 108 temples in all over 6 continents, he would always say that the credit, he doesn't take any credit for his accomplishment. So humble, so simple, and gives all the credit to his Guru, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Swamiji. And although his Guru Maharaj has ordered him, he says that he is only accomplishing the mission that was given to him, and is not worthy of it, of any of his accomplishment. In all his letters, he is he only states that I'm a very fallen, insignificant person, and I'm begging for the mercy of the Lord, and everything that is happening is only due to the mercy and the love of the Lord. And and I don't remember, in one of the letter also he says that I pray the lotus feet of the Lord, and in the ship, and I think in 1963 or 65, it says that I'm not worthy, I'm insignificant, I'm so fallen. I'm doing all this because of the mercy of the Lord and following the instruction of his Guru. And this is the greatest message I feel, which has been spread to us, that we have to follow the instruction. We should have firm faith and perseverance and patience, so that we follow whatever is being instructed to us by our Guru. And once we follow and we are humble enough and crave for his mercy, at the lotus feet, I think anything and everything can be accomplished by his grace and by the mercy of the Lord, and by the grace and the mercy of the Guru. This is one thing which I humbly submit.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, let us continue. Anybody would like to read can raise their hand. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Mahatma, as described in the 2nd verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in the happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity.
Continue.
He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, in any position, in anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and thus become actually a Mahatma, a great soul. Verse 9.13, purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. This is the contribution of an Acharya. An Acharya can explain us the Shastra in which we can follow it. The Shastra, they are very difficult to understand, or it is very difficult to implement in one's life. And the Shastra has to be studied in an elaborate manner, and one has to get the summary of it, because There are so many instructions in so many places of Shastra. We will not be knowing which one to follow and which one to neglect. We will not be knowing. So an Acharya, by his mercy, he will make the things very easy. That is, Susukham Kartum Avyayam. He will explain the things in such a easy manner that everyone can understand. Srila Prabhupada has done this job so that so many people have taken the benefit of this. He has taken the day-to-day life examples, the modern world examples, to connect these principles which are given in the Shastra and explain it such that people will never forget those instructions. And there are so many doubts that arises in our brain, in our mind, when we start our devotional service or when we start the spiritual life. And we will get so many opinions from our surrounding people. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. You should not do this. Only such kind of people can do this. This is not for you. This is not at this time. So Prabhupada has given the statements in the books as well as in his lectures, which will clarify all our doubts, and it will make our spiritual life easy, or it is possible to follow such instructions, which one to follow and which one need not be followed, or which one is not for this age of Kali. All these things are very elaborately, very clearly explained, and he has not contradicted any of his statements in any other places. Because generally in Shastra we see this. Shastra says one statement in one place, and in another place the context will be different. So in that context there will be another instruction. So which one to follow? Such places, what we do, we try to understand it, and when we fail to understand, we just neglect, or we'll just give up such endeavor, or we may give up our spiritual life itself, or we may give up that practice itself, because we are happy with whatever life we are living as of now, and we will not be able to understand the importance of following spirituality. So that is the importance. Hare Krishna, sorry for the interruption. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada has made it very easy to understand the spiritual life, and he has given the instruction to people who are in the Western world and who never knew what is Mahabharata, what is Ramayana. Because whenever we speak about spirituality, we need to give some examples. And all these examples are from Ramayana, Mahabharata, or different Puranas, which we have heard from our childhood. So preaching to such people is not very difficult, because we know what is our tradition, and we know what is the Brahmana means what is Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, some little bit we know. And the language also similar, even though Sanskrit is not very easy language for us, but still the language which we speak and the language Sanskrit, it is very, very related, because Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. But when we come to the Western language, it is completely different, and those people's culture is also different, and we have to make them understand what they are doing, what is wrong in their present lifestyle, what is the problem, what is the difficulty, what will happen if you continue like this, why it should not be done. So these things are not so easy. For example, when Prabhupada went to America, he had to preach Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita as it is the main book for us. Whenever we introduce anybody to Krishna consciousness, first we ask them to read this Bhagavad Gita fully. At least once you should read, then you will understand what is Krishna consciousness. But in Bhagavad Gita, what it is telling, Arjuna is telling, no, I am not going to fight. Krishna is telling it, yes, you have to fight. But in America, when Prabhupada went, there was Vietnam War. And all the young generation was saying, we don't want to fight. And Prabhupada is here in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is also telling, we don't want to fight. And Krishna is telling, you have to fight. So how to make them understand what Krishna is telling is correct and what Arjuna is telling wrong? If you just allow them to read Bhagavad Gita, or if you just read one first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and everyone will say, oh, Arjuna is great. We also don't want Vietnam War, and Arjuna is also do not want Mahabharata War. So we all are one. But we have to make them understand what Krishna is speaking. He is speaking about the Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. He is doing this for establishing Dharma. And Duryodhana is on the wrong side. And this has to be done through the war. So this is one of the example how he faced some challenge in explaining Bhagavad Gita to the new people. So in this way, he has taken a lot of struggle, and Prabhupada has dedicated so much that those people who are coming to him, he was cooking for them personally. And after they go, he was washing their plates and he was cleaning the place. And he himself was making the gulab jamun for all of them. And it was like bullets. Anybody eats one gulab jamun, they will become devotees. Because this is like a pure devotee is making bhogat for the Lord and he himself offering to the Lord. And then that prasadam, anybody takes it, his life will definitely change. So in this way, it is not very simple what he has done. He has to take care of each and every devotee like his own child, his own sons and daughters. Every work, everything he has to tell, because they don't know what is the importance of Vedic marriage ceremony. People were living like just like that. So Prabhupada has to make them understand what is the importance of following Varnashrama Dharma. So these were so many practical problems, but Prabhupada has taken all the struggle just for satisfying the Lord, his Guru and Krishna, and he has made this institution in which each and every person can live happily. This is like one family for the entire world. It's an international society for Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Anye, others, three kinds, 9.15 to 19. Now, those who are directly worshipping the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, they have been described as Mahatma. And there are others, worshippers. They cannot conceive of the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly on account of being less advanced.
Yeah, continue, Mataji.
Yes, sir. Therefore, they have been described here, Anye, others. So others, they worship the absolute truth in three different ways. Bhagavad Gita 9.15 to 18, New York, December 2nd, 1966. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Here, Anye means one who is not a Mahatma, but still he has some faith in the Lord, or he is doing certain practice of spirituality and try to understand. Why this happens is they have not come in touch with the devotees of the Lord. When a person comes in touch with the devotees of the Lord, that is Bhajana Kriya will start. Sadhu Sangha. When a person has Shraddha, he will get the opportunity to associate with the devotees, Sadhu Sangha. Then the real Bhajana Kriya will start. But if they are not very fortunate to get the association of the devotees, then they will start their own concocted ideas, or they may get attracted to certain different types of worships, which is not on the platform of Mahatma, or which will not make them Mahatma by practicing such spiritual practices. So they are three in category. That is explained in the text number 15 to 18. The 15th text number you can see there. Jnana yajnena chapyanne yajanto mamupasate ekatvena prathakvena bahuda vishwatomukham. So ekatvena means they are monist. They want to be merged with the Lord. Or actually, what they say is, actually, I am also God. Now I have forgotten that I am God. And when I elevate myself spiritually, then I will also become God. There is no difference between me and God. I will also elevate myself, or I will also come to that platform one day by practicing my spirituality. Worship self as one with the Lord. Then second one is Vishwatomukam, that is worshipping the universal form. We have seen the description of, okay, next 11th chapter, we'll see the description of universal form of the Lord. And there are many places the description of universal form is given. The universal form will help a devotee to understand the greatness of the Lord, that is opulence of the Lord. How opulent the Lord is, one can understand when he is worshipping the universal form of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam also, Shukadeva Goswami, first he will explain about the universal form of the Lord. It is very important to understand that Krishna is the maintainer of the entire world. This whole universe, this 14 planetary systems, it's all belongs to him, and he is the maintainer of all this. He is only created, and he is only maintaining, and in him only it will finally go, everything like that. So that is universal form. Understanding the Lord in the universal form, or understanding the greatness of the Lord through the universal form, that is worshipping the universal form, that is Vishwatomukam. Then Prithakvena Bahuda, this is demigod worship. Demigod worship, either concocted forms, like in the modern days we can see there are many people worship many forms of the Lord, which may or may not be sanctioned in the scriptures. And there are different demigods which are sanctioned in the scriptures, but they are told as less important, or it need not be worshipped equal to Krishna. The demigod worship is a part of so many places, or so many people's worship. So there are two ways of worshipping the demigod. One way is understanding demigod as a servant of the Lord and accepting them as the maintainer or caretaker or administrator of this universe. In that way, showing respect to them is the responsibility of each and every person. They are also devotees of the Lord, and there are so many prominent demigods. Such demigods has to be worshipped not as the supreme personality of Godhead, but as a administrator or the person who is appointed by the Lord for taking care of this universe. That is not wrong. That is a correct kind of worship, or it's the right way of attitude towards the demigod. But the problem is going to the demigod either for gaining some material desire, satisfying the demigod through different practices, through different sacrifices or worships, or accepting the demigod as the supreme. You are the supreme. There is no one more than you. So these both things are wrong. These are demonic, because from that kind of worship, the person cannot derive the real benefit, or actual benefit he cannot derive. So these are called as others, because they are not Mahatma, or they are not performing Ananya Bhakti. They are performing certain kind of Bhakti, or it is not Bhakti also, it is a certain kind of spiritual practice, which will give them some satisfaction. Why this is happening? Because they have not understood the spirituality through right parampara or right person, or they have not come in touch with the pure devotees of the Lord. Yeah, Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Anye, others, the three kind. Verse 9.15 to 9.19. Anye means others. So they have not been given so much importance, although they have been accepted. They are also accepted because they have taken into the line. They are better than who are just like animals, simply eating, sleeping, and defending and mating. Bhagavad Gita 9.15 to 18, New York, December 2, 1996.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
So those who are living like animals, from them, these people are better. Those who are worshipping demigods or Ekatvena, Pritakwena, Bahudaya Vishwatomukam, such people are better than those people who are fully atheistic or fully considering that there is no creator for this world, it all happened by accident. These things, this kind of arguments or this kind of understanding is completely wrong. Better than that, it is better to follow some kind of spirituality, because of which they may get interest in the real understanding of the Lord later on. So there is an opportunity. When we are preaching Krishna consciousness, it is a little easy to make them understand who is Krishna, if they already having some interest in spirituality. But if they don't know anything about the Lord, it makes very difficult to explain to them, or it is very difficult to preach to such people. Where demigod worship is explained in Bhagavad Gita, we can see in the chapter number 3:11, where it is said that Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsata. This is cooperation between men and demigod. Prosperity will reign for all. That is, the people in the on earth, they will do the sacrifice for the demigods. By being satisfied by this sacrifice, the demigods will give rain, the sun, the air, or the grain. All these things will come, because of which men gets the prosperity. And using that, whatever given by the demigods, the people on the earth, the men can have to worship the demigods once again. It's like give and take. We give to the demigods and demigods will give to us. So in that way, we will satisfy them and they will satisfy us. This is the Karma Yoga principle in the 3rd chapter. Then in the 7th chapter, where the consciousness is more elevated, or the importance is more given for Bhakti Yoga, where Krishna is telling, men of small intelligence worship the demigods. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam. He uses the word alpamedasam. Devan deva yajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. The people who are devotees of the Lord, they will worship the Lord directly. But those who are having less intelligence, or those who are not able to realize the importance. Why demigod worship is so famous is because they will give the result very quickly. That's what we also want. If we see what is childish mentality, children are very much attracted for the quick result. It's like if you the children are they want to eat chocolate, they want to eat ice cream, because it gives immediate pleasure, or it is giving very much tasty. But one who is intelligent, he will understand, if you eat too much chocolate, your teeth will be gone. Or if you eat too much ice cream, then you will get cold. That is known for intelligent people, or elders will know, or children, those who are intelligent, they will understand. But the childish mentality, or the small children, they will just do what they like. Similarly, these demigods, if you worship them, they will give what you want. But they will not see whether it is a good or bad for you. Just like when Brahma gave the boon to Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, he did not check whether they will be happy with that or not, or what they are going to do with it, with such kind of boon. They just give. Then what they did, Hiranyakashipu, first he won the senses. He controlled his senses. And then he did the tapasya or the sacrifice or austerity. Then when he got the boon, he became the slave of his own senses. He lost all the control. Then because of him, the demigods also had to suffer. Lord Indra also had to come and stand before Hiranyakashipu and worship him or glorify him. So these all are happening because of demigod worship. Because demigods are not bothered what the people or the so-called worshipper is going to do with them, with the boon. That's why it's called small intelligence. The person is simply wasting his time by worshipping the demigod for material pleasure. Because whatever pleasure we get, it is temporary as well as dangerous. We will lose whatever we have also. Or it will provide, or it will create pride in us, and it will create a lot of difficulty. It will take us away from the Lord. We will become envious of the Lord, or a person will forget what is his real position. Then finally, Krishna speaks in this present chapter, the 9.23, we can say, Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. So even though the people who are worshipping the demigod, they are also worshipping Krishna only. But it is done in the avidhi purvakam. Why? Because the boon or the benefits which are obtainable by worshipping the demigod is not sanctioned independent of Krishna. Everything is sanctioned with the permission of the Lord only, because the Lord is the remote cause. Each and everything that happens is under the control of the Lord only. The demigod also cannot understand that somebody is worshipping him. The Lord in the heart of that demigod and Lord in the heart of that person who is worshipping the demigod has to connect them. Then only they will come to know, that demigod will come to know that somebody is worshipping me. And the benefits or the boon that demigod is giving, it is also under the benefit, or Krishna is the real sanctioner. Through that demigod, Krishna is going to sanction it, because Krishna will not give anything without checking or without testing the devotee. If you go to Krishna, he will test us. Just like parents, if the child comes to parents and asks, give me 100 rupees, then what parents will, they will not simply just take from past 100 rupees and give. Okay, take whatever you want to do. No, parents will not do that. They will ask, why you want this money? What are you going to purchase? How are you going to spend it? Why parents are asking this? Because they are careful about their child. They want to know what the child is going to do, because the child may harm himself. Similarly, when we go to Krishna, he will test us and he will see what will happen if I give him a lot of opulence. Will he use it for the good purpose, or will he spoil himself? Okay, if he is spoiling himself, I will not give him. Let him worship to any extent. He will not give. He will make him understand that this is not needed. If you want to become happy, you don't need this. Then Krishna, you take the example of Dhruva Maharaj. When Dhruva Maharaj did worship the Lord did not give him whatever he asked in the beginning. What he did first, he cleansed his heart. When Dhruva saw the beautiful form of the Lord, Dhruva lost all his material desires. He tells to the Lord, "Oh Lord, now I got the beautiful darshan of yours, and I don't want anything else. I was searching for some piece of glasses, but I got diamond. Now I don't want this piece of glasses anymore. I got this api divya ratnam." He told that I got this diamond. Now I don't want anything else. This is the benefit of worshipping the Lord directly. We should not worship the demigods thinking that they are the supreme. Those who are reading can raise their hand. Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Demigod worship minimized 9.20 to 25. Worship demigods may be accepted if people know that these demigods are authorized agents of the Supreme Lord. There is acceptance of Supreme Lord, but those fools who do not accept the Supreme God and misunderstand that this particular type of demigod is all in all, oh, they are doing nonsense. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji.
Demigod worship minimized 9.20 to 25. They are placing so many competitors of the Supreme Lord. That is avidhi purvakam. That is illegal. Nobody can be competitor of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is known as Asama Urdhava. Nobody is greater than the Supreme Lord and nobody is equal. Bhagavad Gita 9.2324, New York, December 10, 19.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shirne punya martyalokam vishanti. This is in text number 21. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shirne punya martyalokam vishanti. Eyam traidharma anupapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. By worshipping the demigod, a person can go to heaven and he can live there for some time. And then once the pious credit is over, he has to come back. This is like we earn money when we are in our place, wherever we are working. And with that money, we go to some tour, some picnic to some other place for spending the money. And once the money gets over, then we have to come back to the place again. We cannot live there for a long time because we have gone there for spending it. We are not going to earn there. Similarly, the credit or the money for the higher planetary system is the punya. Like every planet or every country has its own currency. In India, we have certain currency. In America, there is another kind of currency. This currency has to be converted from one form to another. Otherwise, you cannot spend it there. But if you have gold, you can spend. Gold is acceptable everywhere. Similarly, there is a universal currency in all the planetary systems, that is punya. If you have punya, then wherever you may be, you will not suffer. If a person is having good punya, even if anything goes wrong, he will not suffer. He will somehow escape the suffering because he is not destined to it. Even if you are in any difficult situation, he will easily come out of it because he has that pious credit. So people, those were intelligent earlier, they were having a lot of punya, or they were having a lot of credit of punya, pious credit. That's why they were not suffering much as we can see in this present society. They were having very good life. In their old age also, there was so much suffering that we can see nowadays how much suffering will be there for a person in his old age or at the time of death. So much of pain. This is all because we make so much of sinful activities, and all these reactions, they'll come and they will make us to suffer. But if you have punya, then there is, people say, he had very nice death. He was very pious person. He gone painless. He was like that, they say. That is the result of having good punya. But only getting punya is also not good. There are two types of punya. One is punya which is leading to bhoga. Other one is punya which is leading to bhakti. Bhakti unmukha sukriti and bhoga unmukha sukriti. Bhoga unmukha sukriti will give us opportunity for sense gratification. And this will make us to forget Krishna. The person becomes proud and he may degrade himself. But Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti, it may not give bhoga. A person who is doing devotional service to the Lord, he may not earn so much money for his sense gratification. He will have only little money or little benefits just to maintain his body. That's how Krishna maintains him. but he will have a lot of devotion to the Lord. And Krishna will give him a lot of opportunity to serve the Lord. He will give the association of the devotees. He will give the opportunity to study the Shastra and do so many devotional activities. All these things, opportunities he will get. But he will not get so much of opportunity for sense gratification or the wealth. All these things he will not get because he has not done the Bhogonmukha Sukriti. He has done Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti. This Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti will keep a person always safe, and it will always increase. And with this Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti, he can go back to Godhead. But Bhogonmukha Sukriti, it will take him to the higher planetary system, that is the heaven. And then what happens? He will spend that pious credit and he will come back. But once a person go back to Krishna, then there is no losing or there is no spending of punya. He will be permanently be there. Yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramamama. Na tadbhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha. Yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramamama. Once we go there, we don't have to come back here. It is just like a son coming back to his parents. If son has gone for the job somewhere abroad and he comes back to his house, he don't have to think about how can I maintain myself in my house. That question will not arise because he has come to his house. Parents are there. Similarly, when we go back to Godhead, Krishna, he is the supreme maintainer and we have gone back to him. So there is no question of falling down or coming back or so much difficulty. Nothing is there. And if we even go to heavenly planets, there is birth, death, old age, disease everywhere. One cannot escape from that. The problem is there, but it is minimized. Abrahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. But if we go back to Godhead, these kind of problems are not there. Even Indra also, he is worried. If any demigod, any demon may attack me, he will also have some spy who will be going to the demons. What are their activities? What are they doing? And he will anyhow. Demigods having supreme that so much of power. They can come to know what is happening in every place of the material world. If somebody is doing some very difficult tapasya, Indra he gets worried. Oh, he may take away my position. Now I have to do something. So this we can see in the Puranas how Indra sent so many people, Apsaras and all, to break his tapasya, the austerity. So Indra is also worried of losing his position. But if we go back to Godhead, then there is no worry. He will Krishna is going to take care of us. So this is called ferry wheel. Go to the heaven, come back to the earth and make some punya, again go to the heaven, then come back. So bhutva praliyate. Then in the 923, you can see yajanti avidhi purvakam. It is the worship in the wrong way. What is right way? Worshipping the Lord. Pouring the water to the root is the right way. Giving the food to the stomach is the right way. And offering the bribe to the officers or directors in the government office, it is illegal. So that is yatha taror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashaka pranopaharasya yatendriyana sarvaharana machyutejya. If you are giving the water to the root or food to the stomach, whole body gets nourished. But we don't feed each and every cell of our body. That is not possible and that is not needed as well. Raghunath Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, Pitran Yanti Pitra Vrataha, Bhutani Yanti Bhute Ejya, Yanti Mad Ejinopi Mam.
Yes, read the translation.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among the such beings. Those who worship me will live with me. Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So it is very simple to understand. If you worship Krishna, you go to Krishna. If you worship demigods, you'll go to worship demigods. Or if you worship the ancestors, you'll go to ancestors. The Prabhupada gives the example. If you take a ticket to Delhi, you will reach Delhi. If you take ticket to Chennai, you will reach Chennai. If you take ticket to Delhi and you want to reach Chennai, it is not possible. Wherever you take ticket, there only you can travel. So such kind of activities only we have to do. If we want to go back to Godhead, then we have to worship Krishna only. And if you want to go to the heavenly planet, then you may worship the demigods. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna says, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. Those who nonsense say that everyone goes to God. This is nonsense. You can go to Shiva, you can go to Indra, you can go. There are so many planets and you'll go there. And that is reasonable. And how do you say that whatever ticket I purchased, I go to this Delhi?
Continue.
Therefore, they are nonsense, muda, rascals. They do not know what is God, what is demigod, what is Lord Shiva, what is Lord Vishnu or Brahma. They do not know. If a woman says, oh, everyone is my husband, then she's a prostitute. That's all. Evening Darshana, December 3rd, 1976, Hyderabad. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Right.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this way, we should know the unique position of the Lord Krishna, and we should also know the relation between Lord Krishna and demigods. Accordingly, we have to deal with the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are the overview of this chapter. Now we have understood the demigod worship minimized. Finally, the last part is Ananya Bhakti, 26 to 34. Here is an activity about the Ananya Bhakti Yoga. Draw the images illustrating the principles of pure devotional service. Include Sanskrit words and phrases, statements from Prabhupada purports, analogies and examples given. So make drawings which illustrates the principles of pure devotional service. Here we have 6 groups. Different groups will have different topics. So first group you can note down 22 to 26. Second group 27 and 28. Third group 29. Fourth group 31 to 30 31. Next 30 to 33. Finally 34. Last shloka. These are the 6 groups. Here 22 and 26. First group. So let us make 6 groups here. I think there are only 11 people.
Prabhu, we 11 minus 2. I have logged in from another device also.
Okay.
Means
So
9 people
only
are there,
9 people are there. So if I make 6 groups, there will be 1 person in some of the groups. What shall we do then? We can have.
Prabhu, you can assign 9.29 and 342, means combine it or something like that, Prabhu. So 1 gets less.
5 is fine. 10 people. Now 4 is fine.
Yes,
Isn't it?
Prabhu.
At least 2 people will be there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let us make 3 groups. Then we'll have enough people. So first 2 groups, 2 set will be for the first group. 22, 26, 27, 28. Second group 29, 30, 31. Third group 32, 33, 34. So we'll have 3 groups. So you have, okay, now it is 8 o'clock, 8:06 already. Okay, you can take 5 minutes for drawing and discussion and 2 minutes for presentation. Is there any doubts in the question? Okay, let us start the group. The time starts now. Okay, Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the discussion. Those who are going to present, please raise your hand. We need to show the image to the camera and explain, illustrating the principles of pure devotional service. Nobody is ready? Yeah. Raghunath Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Yeah, not unmuted, Prabhu.
We have done a part drawing actually,
Okay,
and Surendra Prabhuji or Balakrishna Prabhuji will explain.
okay.
I think it's visible, I think, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Vaishnav, what is that? Vaishnavas?
Vaishnavas, women and Sudras.
Okay,
They're making Ananya Bhakti to Krishna. Have done by name Krishna have drawn this one.
okay, okay. Yes,
I
Prabhu.
think now it's
The sloka 32 says that by unconditional devotion to the Lord, that is, the Lord assures the people that anybody who has got a background that is a bad woman or a Shudra or a Vaisya can reach me, provided he has got a devotional service.
Okay.
Then the 33, number 33, Anityam Asulaman Logam. This world is not a false one, but it is a purely temporary. That is the Mayavadi says that the world is very false. But the world is a very miserable place. So if you want to get relieved from the miseries of the problem, miseries in the material world, then you have to go to the Supreme Lord. Is the only process by which the problems and miseries of the people are gone and solved.
Yes.
And the last sloka says, you completely remain absorbed in me. That is, you need not do anything, but you can remain absorbed in me and you will get salvation. That is unconditional service, devotion service. That is all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anu Mataji, Hare Krishna.
I don't know where are the rest of the people, but I'll start anyway.
Okay.
How do you go?
Mataji, Anu Mataji, me and Vinamra Mataji will do 9.22 and 27. If you can please start with 2.6. Akhila Mataji, 2.6 and 2.7. 2.8, sorry, if possible.
Okay. So I will start with this 6, which says, if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, flower, a fruit, or a water, I will accept it. There is a bhakta who's offering a leaf, a flower, a fruit, and a glass of water to Krishna. But there are two kinds of bhakta. One is offering with love and devotion, and another is offering as a compulsion, and she's not very happy, and just as a core she's doing it. But Krishna will accept some humble offerings of these 4. And if somebody is offering fish, meat, eggs, and because he himself wants to eat it and he thinks Krishna will also eat it, so he can eat it as prasad, then it is wrong. This is not bhakti. If Krishna had wanted to eat fish, meat, and eggs, he would have said so. He would not have said, just offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, or a fruit, or a glass of water. So this is 9.26. And 27, Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering to me. So anything in life, we come to full circle. We start with nothing and we go back with nothing. So anything in our life in between, if we do it as an offering to God, so that is part of devotional service, and we can give it to Krishna or do it for him, anything, because we came with nothing and we'll go with nothing in our hands. So this is the best way to plan for it, that we are going to go also with nothing in our hands to do everything in name of Lord. That's it, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Others, please raise your hand.
Akhila Mataji, will you show your drawing for this paragraph, this verse?
Mataji, that is nothing, just Krishna's drawing. It's just this one. Here,
Yes.
that is leaf, everything.
Just a minute. Let me make the spotlight. Yeah, very nice, Mataji drawing. Yeah, really, it is very nice.
Okay, thank you.
Leaf,
Leaf,
yeah, Patram
whatever
Pushpa.
we accept, like with love and devotion, like if we give, we'll accept it.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah, Vinamra Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, just a second. Yes.
Oh.
So here, we can see the devotee is meditating upon the form of the Lord. So as Srila Prabhupada says that one who is unable to live even for a moment without Krishna cannot think of living a whole day without Krishna. So he's always engaged in the Navada Bhakti. I think you cannot read it, but
Yeah, you can read it. Yeah.
the 9 forms of bhakti, and one who approaches by following all these 9 forms, it is easy to approach the Lord, and this is what is actually called as yoga.
Just a minute.
Already half.
Okay, please keep yourself muted, otherwise. Yes, Mataji, continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. So one who performs such devotion, and through that he can also realize himself, and this is called yoga, by approaching the Lord in such a way.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Drawing is also very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, that was for 9.22 and 27,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah,
Thank
she has
you.
written at the side. Yes, Mataji, correct.
Sorry.
Nandita Mataji, would you like to add something?
No. We just spoke about this only, Prabhu, that we must meditate on Krishna for 24 hours a day, follow the 9 devotional processes as much as possible, and offer everything to Krishna, because he has said, he has himself recommended that do it for me and give it to me. So all we have to do is just practice this, and he will ensure that we don't have a fall down. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Our team, Neeta Mataji, has drawn.
Okay.
She'll be showing that. And
Hare Krishna, is it visible, Prabhuji?
Just a minute, Mataji. Can you raise your hand? Okay, you made. Okay. No, Mataji. Your, I think you have background screen blurring, made blur.
I'll just do some changes.
Okay, because it can recognize only the face.
I understand. Give me a
Yes, Mataji.
Is it visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Very nice drawing. Okay, flute, peacock feather, Lord Krishna. Yes, Madhu. Little you can keep it away so that clearly visible above things.
Yeah, I just drawn the stick figures for the gopis and offerings.
Okay. Yes, Madhu, you can explain.
Yeah,
Top-
Lata
Top
Mataji
is
is
not
going to
visible.
explain.
Top is not visible. Something at the top. Okay, whole study.
No, nothing at the top. I just want to describe it now.
Okay, Madhu. Sure.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhu.
Here we are just talking about those pure devotees who are in transcendental, who are pure transcendentalists and who are in devotional service to the Lord, and where the Lord says that Mahite in me, that is those who are, and Astina Priyaha E Bhajanti. In verse 9.29, Lord says, whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of them. So here it is like we have to have the Ananya Bhakti and we have to surrender onto him, and knowing very well the Lord is a diamond, and so all living entities in the pure state, in the transcendental devotional services to the Lord, are called the devotees, and the Lord becomes the devotees of his devotees. And he also talks about those who are impersonalist and those who are, as we have already seen, that those who wanted where we worship, what we worship, we go back there. And we say that those who worship demigods go back to demigods, those who worship ancestors go back to ancestors, and those who worship the Lord live with the Lord. So that is what the devotional service of the Lord is, not just an activity as a material this thing. We have to understand that it is a spiritual activity wherein we have to surrender everything onto him, knowing very well that he is a sustainer, he is a giver, and he is the doer, and everything belongs to him, and we are the servitor of the Lord. And in verse 30, again, if we do any abhinaval activities and still we are engaged in devotional services, he will consider this, but we are not going back to him. That is, we need to attain that righteousness that is brings us the everlasting peace. And then just like the Lord says that there is no other good qualification as a devotee who's engaged in 9 types of devotional services. And this process will make him become more and more pure and come out of the material contamination, and that continuous thinking of the Supreme Lord is going to make him pure and go back and live with him. And the others would be going to where they are destined as to reach. This is a humble attempt made to say that we are, every one of us are eligible to reach the supreme abode, but by being in devotional services 24/7 and thinking of him at the time of death, thinking of him constantly, so that we live with him and break the cycle of birth and death. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay. So this chapter 9, this ending, and the chapter 10 beginning, they are coming at the middle, exactly middle of Bhagavad Gita, and it is the most important part of Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because the instructions that Krishna is giving here, it is very much needed in our devotional life. So what Krishna says here, Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamiham. So here Krishna is telling yogakshemam vahamiham. The insurance company also taken the same slogan. Your all yoga and kshema we will take care. But they will take care only after death. That is also not for us, for those who are depending on us. But Krishna is telling yoga kshema vahami aham. Your yoga and kshema I will take care of you when you are living here, as well as when you are leaving this body. I will be there with you always. Even nobody can be with us except Krishna. in each and every life after life, Krishna will accompany us in the form of Paramatma. And he's telling myself, I will do it myself. I am not assisting, means I am not assigning someone to do this job. Otherwise, Krishna is just asking the material nature to take care of the living entities. They will take care of all the maintenance. But Krishna is taking personal care. Aham, Vahami Aham, Krishna is telling. So that is the most important thing that we have to understand. And then Krishna is telling in 26th text, what are the different impediments that one may face when we are coming to Krishna consciousness. Somebody may say that I'm very poor. I don't have money for practicing Krishna consciousness. Some people have that mentality. Oh, this devotional service and all people who have money, those who don't have to work so much. So they have a lot of free time. So they go and do this practice of spirituality. But it is not for us. No, Krishna is telling Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. You can offer me leaf, water, flower, or toyam, leaf, here flower, phalam, that is fruit or water. Anything you can offer me. This doesn't cost much and it is freely available in nature. You can just offer it to Krishna because everything belongs to Krishna. We are offering him back to him only. So anybody, that means the money is not a problem when somebody wants to practice Krishna consciousness. But the problem, one thing is Krishna is putting a condition here, Bhakti Upahritam. Tadaham Bhakti Upahritam Ashnami Prayatatmanaham. You have to offer it to me with Bhakti. Otherwise, this is not valid. But if somebody says, I don't have Bhakti for you, what shall I do? Can I offer Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam? Yes, in the next sloka he says, Yat karoshi yadasnyasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasasi kaunteya tatkurusha madarpanam. In this sloka, there is no word of Bhakti, 27. That means whatever you do, you just do it as an offering to me. Even though it is not at the level of pure devotional service, but it is your beginning, your devotional life. Whatever you do, you just do Krishna Arpana. Then Krishna will accept it, or Krishna will give you an opportunity, or he will give the devotion that is required for practicing Krishna consciousness. Then again, person may say, I am so fallen, I have done so much of sinful activities. How can I practice Krishna consciousness? Then Krishna is telling, Apichesu durachara bhajate mamananibhak. Whatever you may be in your life, whatever you may be your past life, don't worry. You may be a durachari, never mind. You take to Krishna consciousness. Sadhureva samantavya. Everyone will appreciate you as sadhu. So don't worry. Your life will change definitely. You just begin the process. Sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. It's like when we practice Krishna consciousness, people all start respecting more, or people will recognize, or people will have some respect for all the devotees, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness. That shows that Krishna has shown some mercy on us, or he is making the things easy, or some kind of progress that we are making towards the Lord. Then Krishna is also he is guaranteeing that Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvat Chanti Nigachati. Kaunteya Pratijanihi Nami Bhakta Pranashyati. He is asking Arjuna to declare, Oh Arjuna, my devotees will never perish. They will definitely come back to me, even though the process may be easy or difficult. Or somebody may say that there are many people who can practice Krishna consciousness, but I am so fallen. My family background or my present situation is not allowing me to practice Krishna consciousness. Just like the Striya Vaishyas Tata Shudra Tepi Yanti Paramgati. They are not. In Kali Yuga, almost everyone is Shudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Everyone is a Shudra in Kali Yuga. So somebody may say, I am a Shudra. How can I practice Krishna consciousness? Society will not allow me to practice, or there are so many difficulty. In the beginning, we can see many people who wants to follow 4 regulative principles, because of so many family conditions, they cannot follow, they cannot give up meat eating, or they cannot give up, they cannot stop drinking tea, or especially giving up the onion and garlic. It will become very big challenge. If you want to give up, you cook yourself. Otherwise, like that, such kind of situation will arise at home. So such people also can practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna not keeping them away. So you can also practice Krishna consciousness, even though you have so much of difficulty in practicing. Then Kim puna brahmana punya bhaktya rajashrestata anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvam. Then what to speak about those people who are pious? They will definitely practice this Krishna consciousness. They will also come back to me. Then what to do? Okay, Krishna, you have given so much of offers. Now, how to practice? Krishna says, you are a poor man, never mind. You are a criminal, never mind. You are a low-born, never mind. You can practice. So Krishna finally says what to do. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, you worship me, and always offer your respect to me. Just do these 4 things, then you will go back to me, you will come back to me. Mame vaishasi yuktaevam atmanam atparayana. Krishna is making the devotional service possible for each and every person. Even Acharya also makes devotional service possible for each and every person by seeing the condition of the living entity. Prabhupada made it possible. Whatever situation you may be, you can practice this Krishna consciousness. Whatever difficulty you have, you can overcome this. You can practice. Because Krishna consciousness is for each and every living entity. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, in this world, there is no scarcity for anything. Poverty is not a problem. Economy is not a problem. The real problem is there is a scarcity of Krishna consciousness. If we spread Krishna consciousness everywhere, then everything will set in right place. Everything will fit in the right place. But only thing is, we are not worshipping Krishna, or we are not trying to satisfy Krishna. Whatever you may do, you cannot satisfy a karmi or a materialist, because he will find one or the other reason for lamentation. By default, everyone is having that lamenting tendency. One or the other reason we take and we start lamenting. I don't have this, I don't have this, this has to be done, that has to be done. But if we are trying to satisfy the senses of the Lord, then we also get the satisfaction in the spiritual life. Then a person can become peaceful and happy. If we understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will become the peace formula that is given in I think in the 7th chapter, last. Okay, I don't remember now. So Krishna is giving this easy way of practicing Krishna consciousness, and this is the most important instruction that Krishna has given, and he is not making any discrimination. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. Krishna is available for all. But one who practicing Krishna consciousness, one who is doing bhakti, Krishna will show special mercy to him, or he will give the special attention to him. But practicing Krishna consciousness or trying to get that special attention is allowed for all, or it is open to all. So we should take this opportunity and practice Krishna consciousness. Finally, let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Those who are reading can raise their hands. Yeah, Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Simply go and preach this very thing. Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. This is Krishna's desire. Preach to the world. Just be Krishna conscious. Manmana. Just become Krishna's devotee.
Continue.
Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji. Just worship Krishna. Madhyaji mam. Just offer your obeisances to Krishna. 4 words. Then you become a preacher. It is not very difficult to become a preacher. and to become a spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.5.51, Los Angeles, December 28, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amara Ajna Guru Bhava Tara Yedesh, Yara Deka Tarekaha, Krishna Upadesh. Whoever you see, you just tell them the Krishna Upadesh, Krishna's instruction. Then that is the becoming spiritual master. It doesn't mean that one should do, give Diksha or something like that. Anybody can do the job of a guru by spreading the Krishna consciousness everywhere. So that is the meaning here. What is it told? Anybody can become a preacher or to become a spiritual master. So you will take it from the senior devotees or from your guru and preach this Krishna consciousness to all. By doing so, Krishna is pleased, Guru is pleased, and by their mercy, we will also get the mercy of the Lord. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of this 9th chapter. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. If you have any doubts, any questions in this today's class, you can ask. You can raise your hand and ask the question. Yeah, Anu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have 2 questions. First is 9.22. Is Lord saying about He's preserving my bhakti or giving a promise to give me material happiness in this lifetime after purifying me? 9.22.
No. He is telling whatever you have, it will be protected. Whatever you need, it will be given. That is in the spiritual platform. Krishna will not give anything which will make us to forget him. And anything that makes us to remember Krishna is not material. It is spiritual.
Okay. The second question, you just said trying to preach. But out of 10 offenses, 1 offense is ashraddhavan ko bhakti, bhagavad gyan dena. So there are a lot of people, and I've observed that when I talk about myself that I have to complete my assignment and all, they're not happy. They complain about me. So I think I've learned I should keep my mouth shut in front of those people and not even tell them what I'm doing. So you just said trying to preach.
Yeah, ninth offense, that is instructing a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. That has to be followed in a way that the devotee of the Lord is more merciful than the Lord himself. The Lord is saying that these people who are in the material world, they are nitya baddha. Whatever you do, they will not come back. They have stuck there. So don't try unless they are really interested. But devotees of the Lord, they are more merciful to show mercy to the fallen conditioned souls. So in that way, the devotee will preach, even though people are not faithful or they don't have shraddha. But again, we should not preach to such an extent that we will reveal all the principles of bhakti or devotional life. We have to give them some understanding. We can say, you can chant Hare Krishna, it will be good. That is fine. Or you can say, you can invite them for Bhagavad Gita class, that is fine. Or you can just give some summary of Bhagavad Gita to them, that is also fine. But going deep into the subject matter or philosophy may not be appreciated because they may not be ready to accept it. Hope this answers your question.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Nandita Mataji.
Prabhuji, can you switch off